What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much for tuning in. It's me, Mikey Pipes. Good morning. It is 5:45 here in the morning in Woodmere, New York, and today is Thursday, July 16, 2026. You know what they say, the early bird catches the worm, and around here, the hustle never stops. Folks, we just got a fresh shipment of ACiQ high performance, high efficiency heat pump inverter driven systems yesterday. And this delivery is not even going to be able to have time to collect dust, because this 4-ton ACiQ Extreme Plus system is getting installed today, this morning actually, before lunch. Because we're going to be replacing a 21-year-old Carrier central air conditioning system that finally reached the end of its journey. Now, here's the funny part. If you looked at the outdoor condenser and the indoor air handler, you're like, wow, that thing still looks pretty good. And honestly, it does. 21 years old, and cosmetically, it's held up incredibly well. But looks can be deceiving. Inside, the evaporator coil has developed a refrigerant leak, and repairing a system this old doesn't make financial sense anymore. So today, we're giving these homeowners a major upgrade with an ACiQ communicating inverter heat pump that will deliver whisper quiet operation, lower electric bills, incredible comfort, and efficient heating and cooling all year long. We got a very busy day ahead of us. The guys will be here in a few moments. I'm going to be working on the outdoor unit, setting up the side discharge inverter-driven outdoor heat pump condensing unit with the Mikey Pipes surge protection device, providing that premium insurance policy to the outdoor unit. It has a voltage protector which will shut down with over or under voltage. Are you ready? Let's go. I'm going to start outside by pumping down the refrigerant. If I push down on the contactor, I should be able to do that. Let me just get my pressure probes set up. I'm using the JB Climate Class probes. There's that one there. Here's the other one there. Oh, we made a little adapter on there. I knew it. Nothing on there. Is it one of those reversing things? Oh man, really? I'd like to know how the hell. I have all of these ones that are reverse threaded, and this is not the one, of course. Nope. I always. Oh man, this is so annoying. That's also not the right one. See, too big. This one as well. Look at this. Come on. This one? It's got to be this one. Yeah. There we go. You always got to carry adapters with these for these wireless probes, because sometimes they hit and you're going to have to move it out of the way a little bit. Alright, so there's that. Let's get all those back in there. Let's remove this panel right here. There's our contactor. Let's get our service wrench ready, which will be right here. Okay, there's that. Crack that one. Let's crack that one as well. Okay, now let's get a insulated screwdriver, and we're gonna shove close the contactor. Okay, let's push that in there. Beautiful. Okay. We're going to close this valve here. This is the liquid line. Okay, that's fully closed. Now we're gonna get our service valve ready for the suction side. That's going to drop down. We're at 84, 83, 81, 80. If we're lucky, we'll be able to pump all the refrigerant back into the condensing unit, and that'll save us recovery time. It is 7:25 in the morning. 59 psi, 55, 52. We may have a thermal overload issue. 40, 38, 35. That'll do it. 26, 22, 20, 18, 17. Awesome. 14, 13. And see our high side is dropping as well. So we are pumping all that refrigerant into the condensing coil. 11 psi. Yeah, now it's gonna be on thermal now. So okay, we'll have to recover a little bit. Let's briefly just go over what I just did as a tech tip on how I save time. Before we disconnect this old outdoor unit, we perform what is called a pump down. Instead of recovering all the refrigerant into a recovery cylinder by the means of a recovery machine, we use the system's own compressor to move the refrigerant into the outdoor condenser and isolate it there. On a system that's still operational like this one, that's a huge time saver. Depending on the size of the system and the amount of refrigerant, this could save us anywhere from 20 to 45 minutes compared to traditional recovery. Now, of course, this only works when the compressor is still running and the system is capable of pumping itself down. If the compressor has failed or the system has a low limit bypass on it, you won't be able to do this. You have no choice. You'll have to recover the refrigerant the conventional way. But remember this, every minute we save doing things the right way means we could spend more time focusing on what really matters. And that's installing a new system properly, pulling a deep vacuum, and making sure our customer gets years of reliable performance. I've disconnected the line set, communication wire, whip from the electrical panel that's there. Let's move this bad boy out of the way. Nah, I'm good. Bye-bye. I just removed a ton of that ivy, making sure there weren't 3 leaves on the ivy before I started handling it. Otherwise, I got poison ivy all over my hands and arms. And I think I made a nice decoration out of this carrier. What do you think? What do you want to call this bad boy? Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if I'm an HVAC installer or filming the next episode of National Geographic. Okay, you can laugh now. Come on, it's funny. But no exaggeration, holy I think we found Jimmy Hoffa under there. And that isn't poison ivy. This is Carrier's emotional support blanket. It's been hiding from me for 21 years. All right. There they are, folks. So Daniel, did I do good?
We'll see for the return, but
okay. Everything is gonna be all right. On your left, right, left, your right, your left. Not too shabby. Thank you. Anything else we may take down? Or that's it, basically about it?
yeah, I think that's it.
Okay. The old dinosaur is gone. The area is cleaned up. I got the line set into position. Now it's time to install the wall mount bracket and the new ACiQ 4-ton outdoor unit. One thing you might notice right away is that we're not going to be putting it back on the ground. We're not doing that. This system is going to be mounted on a heavy-duty wall mount bracket that is going to be about 12 to 18 inches off of grade. Up and over, folks. Up and over. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. South Central does it like nobody else does. This is how we do it. Okay, let's go bring this to the front door. I manhandled that, but it did tip over right there by that stop sign, but I caught it. I was trying to freestyle with one hand, you know what I mean? Oh man, Derek, you get an A for effort anyway. Are we gonna do Zaga for lunch today? Yeah? Alright. You know, someone complained in the last video that we did, the last install, that Mike, you know, it's okay that, you know, you take them out for food and all and lunch, but I want you to hook them up instead. So I was like, damn Derek, D-Dog, come on, what you doing, bro? Right? Can you believe they said that? Did I hook you up?
Yeah.
On that one we did in Atlantic Beach?
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
And
And you got.
$100.
Yep. Shh. Don't want to blow it up. People be like, people gonna want to work for us. Yeah, of course, man. Come on, you put a hard day's work in. You work a little late. You know, I'm gonna take care of you. People think I'm a slave driver, though. They really be thinking that, though. I swear, 1000%. Come on, man. That's not how we roll. Beautiful ACiQ 48 HPD side discharge heat pump condenser. I'm gonna take the wall mount bracket and I'm gonna set that up right around there. Yep. Gonna mark center. It's only upside down for you folks. So we're gonna use this one, that one, that one, that one, that one. Now, we need to be cognizant, you know, we need to be aware, blah, of the line sets connection right there. And that is going to be 3 inches from the end of our wall mount bracket. So when I put that wall mounted bracket on this wall, we're gonna have to put a smack up against there. It's all good. We got this. All right, we're gonna use a deep socket, 14 millimeter, with a long extension bit, and take off the shipping bolts that secure the new outdoor unit to this miniature pallet. Now, if you notice, every step along the way, I am removing debris as I create it. Every step along the way, right? A clean work site is a healthy work site, and it's also a professional work site. All right, looks level to me. Come on, I'm not gonna use that cheap little bubble level. A little bit more, huh? All right, height of my unit, 38 inches. Look at that, 5 inches to spare. Sweet, and I clear that vent right there.
Oh, his foot.
Yeah. Want to push on to the other side? Yeah. Okay. Some of you guys down in Florida, Texas, Arizona, you're probably asking, Mikey Pipes, why not just set it down on the pad like it was before? Well, ladies and gentlemen, here in New York, we get this crazy thing almost every winter. This solid white precipitation that comes from the sky, well, it's called snow. Now, to some of you, that may be a foreign concept, but if this condenser is resting down on the ground and we get a foot of snow or more, guess what? The coil gets buried, airflow gets restricted, and when you're trying to heat the house with a heat pump, that's a problem. So by mounting it up on that wall mount bracket, we're keeping it above the average snow line. It gives the unit plenty of breathing room, makes it easier to breathe, easier to service, and keeps it cleaner throughout the year. And then it helps protect it from ice buildup and snow drifting around the cabinet. It also keeps the landscape from taking over. You saw what happened with this old Carrier. That thing was one season away from qualifying as protected wetlands. And today, the goal is not just to install a new system. The goal is to install it so it'll be running beautifully 15, 20 years from now. And that's the difference between simply replacing equipment and installing it the right way. All right, next, by the way, it's 8:30, Thursday, July 16th. Lately, I've been, I keep songs on repeat. I've been listening to The Promise by When in Rome. Don't ask me why, and it's probably not too masculine sounding, but whatever. I like listening to songs until I wear them out and never hear from them again, at least like another 15, 20 years. All right, let me remove the electric cover, compartment cover. Now, don't ask me why the screws on top don't have a little washer like the ones on the bottom. I have no idea. But you'll notice that the ones on the bottom of this electric cover have a little plastic washer, while the ones on the top and the ones there don't. Go figure. I have no idea. But we're going to hammer out a few of these knockouts, one for power, one for the communication wire, and I'm going to cut this back a little bit and we'll do a gentle swoop right into our flare connections. This is 3/4 and 3/8. Every single ACiQ Extreme system uses 3/4 and 3/8, and your line set will also match that. You can use 7/8 like we're going to reuse today. Is that 7/8? All right, I didn't really get much footage of this, I'm sorry. Right now I have the Mavic tubing bender in place, and we're gonna mark this right there. So we're gonna cut this line set, and then we're going to flare the end after we put a flare nut on it, and we're gonna connect this. There's a little bit of play in this, so I'm good with that. I should have went a little bit higher here, but we're good. So let me clean this off with some emery paper, scratchy paper, cut that, and be good. All right. I should probably invest in a new piece of scratchy paper. And there's really no need to clean this, but I just want to clean it, make it look nice and shiny. There you go. Let's get the underside, the undercarriage of the pipe that you're not going to see anyway. Let's get that. Beautiful. Perfect. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. I thought I was missing. Oh man, I'm missing jaws. There's a 3/4. Where are all the jaws? Oh man, what the hell happened? You know what? Armor Flex. Tell me you don't tear the Armor Flex. You use a knife. See? I got the piece of Armor Flex on there, looking professional, with a nice cut in the Armor Flex. Right now we're using the Navic automatic flaring tool. I got the brass flaring nut on there, the Armor Flex. We are doing a professional quality job. There's that nice beautiful flare. And it is 9 o'clock on the dot. All right, now, why aren't you cooperating the way you're supposed to? See? Why? Get on there, buddy. Come on.
Like I left that fan motor up underneath the fan.
Yep, I saw that. Let them know that.
Thank you for
You're welcome. Come on. Oh, man, that was a pain. That was not fun. But I finally caught it. Sometimes it's very tricky on you. It's like trying to catch a coupling on a very long length of black pipe. The gas pipe, you know what I mean? Alright, cutting the 3/8 now. I'm going to use the straightener to make this nice and straight and put a bend right there. I'm tired of the comments that Mikey Pipes, you're not a professional, stick to plumbing. I can bend copper by hand. You're a hack. Leave me alone. Be nice. I guess your mother never taught you manners. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all, right? Okay, I'm gonna borrow Daniel's tool to take that screw out and transplant this to there. All right, let's get a bend on this bad boy. That this is wishful thinking, but we're gonna try to do it anyway. Here we go. Let's see. Go up a little bit more. There you go, right there. And if I bend there, I'm gonna be a little bit too tall to go up a little bit more. All right, that's down a little bit. There's not really that much play on this, so let's hope for the best. Look at that. That is beautiful. Beautiful. Let's take that off of that a little bit. I don't want to be resting against that metal. And let's put a mark right there. Now, many of you may be asking, Mikey Pipes, you're using it as a heat pump. Why isn't the 3/8 insulated? Well, the reason why you don't need to insulate 3/8 is because in heat pump mode, the metering device is outside. Enough said. Perfect. Okay. Only lost the thumb so far. Not bad, and it's only 10 after 9 in the morning. Can't complain. Look at that nice, beautiful flare. Love it. Absolutely love it. That's gonna line up right there. Almost, right? Oh, come on, baby. Why are you messing with me today? Come on, guys. Just catch. Oh, man. You know, it's just one of those days. You know, we're doing such a great job today, and I can't get this thing. Ah. Okay. Beautiful. Wow. That really looks special. Got the Black Max digital flaring tool. Let's power her on our 3/8. We're going to go to the manual, page 18. The tightening torque is 32 to 39 Newton Nm. Right? See that? Nm. So let's get that on there. All right. And let's tighten this bad boy up. What do I need to be? 32 to 39. Let's get in there a little bit better, like right there. 32, 35, 36, 37. Yeah, I'm happy there. Cool. Now, the 3/4. 3/4 is asking for 67 to 101. Right around 90. Nice. Don't guess. Test. Not that I need to be in the shade today, but I'm being attacked by this bush that kind of looks like it's something out of Minecraft. Right? That thing's crazy bush. Every video I get comments from the community, and it's at least one that doesn't know how to RTFM, and that's read the factory manual. Every install of an ACiQ system, I get at least one comment. Mikey Pipes, it's too close to the wall. Ladies and gentlemen, on page 19 of the RTFM, the factory manual, page 19 is dedicated to outdoor unit installation. Now, on this page, in case you guys can't, read, there's a picture. And there's your picture, right? And it talks about clearances, right? That we need to have, here's a double height unit, right? Which is the 60,000 BTU model. So right here, this is looks like our model, right? Clearances. 4 inches on the left side or more, 14 on the right side or more, 20 inches on top, 20 inches in the front, and 4 inches or more rear. Ladies and gentlemen, what kind of space do you think we have here? Okay, do you think it's more than 4 inches? Give me a thumbs up. If you think it's less than 4 inches, go visit another YouTuber that needs the views more than I do, okay? If you're not gonna have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. If you think you're just gonna talk trash out of your mouth because you think you know better, the manual says 4 inches or more, right? That's the minimum, okay? This wall mount bracket is designed to handle up to 300 pounds of weight. It's endorsed by the manufacturer for my installs. And just keeping it real, I am the brand ambassador for ACiQ. You know what that means? That means I have a direct hotline, a direct phone number to the owner of the company, to the CEO of the company, and every company employee, okay? Stop hating, all right? This is more than 4 inches, and we're okay with that. And my clients love the installs as well. So stop it. Tape measure flip. Nailed it. Let's go measure. You ready? Let's go measure. I gotta appease the trolls. And I really shouldn't have to, but I'm gonna do it anyway. All right? Look at that. 5 inches, folks. And there it's almost 5.5. Stop it. Okay? Stop it. And we're well off the ground. So just leave me alone. Okay? Enough. It looks like it's real close, but it's not. Okay? I'm not an idiot. I'm a professional. Recognize or go somewhere else. I've been trying to get this piece out. There we go. I got it out. Now, I borrowed Daniel's thingamajiggy. Now we're gonna move it over here. Actually, I think it looks good. Yeah, we don't need to do anything with that. It's good. I thought it was a episode of National Geographic. Yep. With all the shrubbery and the forest growing around it. But now she's leaving. Replaced by the ACiQ Extreme Plus. This unit heats at negative 15 degrees of outdoor temperature at 100% capacity. And it will keep going down to negative 27. So if you live at the North Pole or Alaska, even though there aren't any ACiQ dealers in Alaska yet, I would love for an ACiQ dealer to be in Alaska. We'll figure out how to get you the equipment, or Hawaii. Those are the two states we don't have any dealers at. But I would love for a dealer to be in Alaska and sign up under me, because, oh man, I would love to fly to Alaska and do like a field activated install. When I go out there, it'd be awesome. Wouldn't that be nice, Daniel, to fly to Alaska to help someone do an install as a new ACiQ dealer? That would be awesome.
Alaska's like my dream vacation.
Oh yeah? Oh guys, come on. Guys, if you or someone you know is in Alaska and they're an HVAC contractor, right? If you sign up to become a dealer and you purchase a system, I will fly Daniel to you. I'll fly him to Anchorage, right? I'll get him to Anchorage, but from there, you got to get him to where you're going to be, right? But if you sign up to become a dealer, I promise that's what I'm going to do right now. How's that sound, Daniel? Cool. You may have to go on a little seaplane, like a propeller, you know, like a Cessna.
That's part of the fun.
That's part of the fun, right? And I'll be, oh man, I'll be jealous because I can't go, but you know, you can go. Maybe I could, because two of us is like AHR, you know. AHR is the worst time of year to, you know, for a heating and cooling expo, because it's in fucking winter. Our busiest time of year, January.
You think that's our busiest time of year?
Well, beginning of July is technically, right? July. Yeah, and there goes the equipment. Bye-bye. You see, Daniel can't bend, you know, can't straighten either. People comment, "Oh, Mikey Pipes, sick with plumbing. You can't can't make it straight by your hands. You must be not a professional. You got to use a tool to make it straight." It's perfectly straight. Yeah. How about you complain to like Navik for building this case for the bender, which has to be perfectly positioned, everything. They even give you an instruction sheet, an illustration, so you know where everything goes. Because if you don't put it in exactly the right way, it doesn't close. All right? How about yell at people like Navik? Even though it's a great tool, it's just, and it's compact, so whatever. It is what it is. All right, let's get rid of the flaring tool with all of the jaws. There's my 3/4, and there's my 3/8. And that piece has to go down, otherwise it doesn't fit in there. And you know what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to FaceTime Penny. All right. For a brief moment, I was thinking about keeping that disconnect panel there, but I was like, you know what? Let's change that out. So I found the circuit breaker panel. Let's check for power here. There's one to another. There's no power there. Let's go to there, nothing there, nothing there. Perfect. Let's disconnect the line voltage coming into this panel and then pull this off the wall. All right, there we go. Beautiful. Let's get rid of this whip. Let's clean up this area a little bit. All right, so we're gonna come to the back with our power. on our new disconnect panel, which I'm going to show you in about 5 seconds. All right, here is the new waterproof, I call this the Mikey Pipes SPD model 01. I think I pretty much perfected it now. We're going to have a model 02 coming out probably in the next couple weeks, maybe after I come back from Italy in the second week of August. The new version, I'm going to have a Cool Guard 2 inside a larger waterproof enclosure with a clear face with a circuit breaker rated that you can order based on 20, 30, or 40 amp size. So that's going to be pretty cool. So this right here is my own creation. We have a UL listed surge protection device which handles both 120 and 240 volts. This is UL listed. This is a European Union rated circuit breaker, and this also is rated in the EU for voltage protection. So any undercurrent or overcurrent will shut the load down coming out of it, and then it'll automatically restart it when the conditions are correct again. This is available for sale, and 100% of all proceeds go to my nonprofit, the Mikey Pipes Philanthropy Charitable Organization, where we provide free or low-cost plumbing, heating, cooling services to those in the community who can't afford to hire a professional. Let's get this thing mounted. I'm going to drill out that hole right there. Actually, you know what? Let's focus on the bottom, actually. Let's do the bottom. Yeah, let's go for the bottom. Drill this out, mount this on the wall, and then drill out a bottom hole here to connect my whip to the new outdoor condenser unit. All right, let's get this bad boy mounted. As I was preparing, a tradesman, HVAC guy, pulls up and goes, "I love your videos." And he goes, "You wouldn't have to have a 75/5 dual capacitor, right?" And I was like, "Of course I do." Of course. Come on. Of course I got a 75/5 dual capacitor. And gave him one, and he zelled me $50. Awesome. At least I was able to help someone that trades out. Now, it's $50 only because it's an AMRAD. Otherwise, I would have charged him like $25. You know, my cost. But AMRAD, they come with a premium, as you guys know. Alright, I am now putting together the surge protection device, and I'm doing most of it elevated on my bench because it's going to be easier with my old bones than being on the floor trying to connect the 8-gauge wire, leaving my surge protection device and power monitoring contraption, then laying it out on the ground. So better do it on the table right now. So what's great about my terminals on my outlet side, that I can fit 8 to 12 gauge wire on the outlet side of the power monitor. Okay, our ground, which is 10 gauge, will connect there no problem. And all we got to do now is basically just get rid of that slack, push this in. It's gonna be a little bit of a pain here, but maybe we could maybe we can get this to cooperate. I gotta shorten that a little bit. It's not being too cooperative here. Let's see if I pull this out. All right, there we go. And now those will go there, and this is a tight squeeze, I admit, right? But it does get the job done. And I do need to come out on the right side. So let me tighten up that 1/2-inch locking ring and connect my ground. All right, let's get the show on the road. Been BSing for the last 20 minutes, dragging my feet. Let's get this mounted on the wall. All right. Cleaning up upstairs already?
Yeah, just the garbage.
I can nitrogen test now?
Yeah, the line says connected.
Wow. Look at that, folks. 1023. We're about done. I have my line voltage, communication, all set up. We're going to get the nitrogen. I was gonna call Penny, my handler at ACiQ, and let her know that I think we broke a record today by installing a system in 2.5 hours. Sorry, 3 hours. We're not done yet. We still got to commission the system and by doing a nitrogen test and vacuuming down, but we're essentially, God willing, almost done. All right. You know, why don't these light up on the plug? Why must you rely on the end to be lit up to make sure this is active? Of course not. Oh man. Don't you hate it when people have these outlets in front of their house and they don't work? Oh man. Oh, damn it. There was a switch that was off that we needed to turn on. Okay. Let's get set up for a nitrogen test and vacuum. I gotta feed the people, Penny. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I'm on the phone right now with Penny. She's my handler at ACiQ. It is 10:32. We just started the vacuuming process. I got to close that valve there, and hopefully we are all having lunch today by 11:30. That will make me happy. Lunch today by 11:30. I got an hour to get it done. That's right, folks. Let's get the show on the road. Penny, if there's someone on the fence right now that wants to be an ACiQ dealer, but there has a moment of hesitation, what's one thing you can say right now to make them want to become a dealer? So Penny said to give us 15 minutes of your time and they will convince you that it's the right move to make. How you doing? I'm good. Yes, sir.
I see you cooling systems,
Yes.
right? Do you do any other manufacturers besides like Green or?
So we install the brand that's being installed right now. It's called ACiQ.
Okay.
It's made by the largest HVAC manufacturer in the world, which is called Medea.
All right.
And it's at the same price point of cheap builder's grade systems, but it performs like a Rolls Royce, like a high-end carrier.
All right. One of my units just recently, in the last week,
Theirs did too. And at 7:30 this morning, we started this job and we'll be done by 11. That's the indoor unit, the outdoor unit, new thermostat on the wall, the drain lines, the drain pan, some duct work. We move with a purpose. I'll give you my card, and you're welcome to give the office a call. And we'll
Is that considered what? A 2-ton, 3-ton?
This is a 4-ton system.
It's a 4-ton.
Yeah. Here's my card.
Is that too much for a certain amount of space?
Well, it depends on the square footage. So we have to do a load calculation to determine what your home needs and whatever, yeah. But I'm actually on the phone, and
I'm sorry.
it's all good.
Listen,
Your name is?
Mark.
Mark. Pleasure.
Okay.
Thank you. Love the gold. Me too, as you can see, you know.
Yeah.
Good investment. And you have the
I bought it
MB.
probably 40 years ago, and
When the gold
you're
was...
probably in your 40s.
a little bit older than that.
Later, I get an estimate.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
I appreciate
No problem. Tell them you saw me here at a job when you call. Okay? Awesome. And that's how you develop networking. You develop relationships, ladies and gentlemen. I'm still on the phone with Penny. Look, there she is. She's still on the phone. She's still on the phone. All right, guys, let me pay attention here. We're 4,000, 3,900 microns, 30, 38, 36, 3,700 microns, 3,600 microns. All right, folks, and it is 10:35. Let me not be rude to Penny. She's my handler, and we have to talk business. All right, it is 15 minutes to 11. We are pulling a nice deep vacuum, 146, 363. Let's close off the valves and see what happens. 2,000, 2,100, 1,800, 1,900, 2,000. So we still got a ways to go, folks. Still got a ways to go. All right, I know I talk about this in almost all of my installation videos, but we're at one of the most critical steps of any HVAC installation, and that's called the evacuation process. And yes, I know I talk about this in almost every install video, but that's because it's that important. When these refrigeration lines are open to the atmosphere, moisture and air get inside. And air doesn't belong in a refrigeration system. And moisture, it's even worse. Moisture combines with the refrigerant and the compressor oil, forms acids that attack the windings of the internal components like the compressor. And that's why we hook up with a high quality vacuum pump and pull this system into a deep vacuum measured in microns, not PSI. My goal is always to see that micron gauge drop nice and low, and more importantly, hold after I isolate the system. That tells me there's no leak and no moisture left boiling off inside the piping. Because that's what happens. When you're pulling into negative pressure in a vacuum, any moisture that's in the system is going to boil off. It's going to steam off, and it expands. And that's why sometimes you see the micron gauge jump up and then jump back down again, because it's boiling off that moisture, which expands like, I don't know, like 20,000 times its mass. But this right here separates professionals from just installers. Anyone can bolt equipment to the side of a home, but the difference between an average installation and professional installation is everything you don't see. And this is one of them, one of the most crucial steps. When's the last time you got your system down to 112 microns? 111. Look at that. It doesn't know what to do. It's fighting. And 244. 241. 110. And it's only 1047. If you're an HVAC contractor watching this video and you're tired of paying premium prices for the same equipment that everyone else is selling, you owe it to yourself to check out the ACiQ dealer program. It's completely free to join, no buy-in, no franchiser fees, no dealer fees. You get access to high-performance communicating inverter heat pumps, competitive pricing, outstanding tech support, and one of the fastest growing HVAC brands in the country. Head on over to ACiQ.com/Mikey Pipes, sign up for more information, and when they ask who referred you, you go to social media, select Mikey Pipes YouTube, and when you get your account manager on the phone, make sure you tell them I sent you. They'll give you a special, huge discount on that first order, and they'll give me an attaboy. And I ain't exaggerating. You'll get a tremendous bonus on your first order. What are you waiting for? Go to ACiQ.com/Mikey Pipes. I'm very impatient. It's now 10:50. 97, 98. Let's just see what happens when I close the valves. I'm surprised, actually. I'm surprised it jumped over 1,000. And again, this thing turns off. This cockamamie Navik micron gauge. Stop turning off. Jeez Louise. All right, 1210. $12.51. 12:10. All right. She still got some moisture in the system, so I'm not too concerned. We'll just keep focusing our attention on this. This, again, is the most important segment of the installation process. The commissioning, evacuation of atmosphere, non-condensables, all that crazy stuff. We want this system as tight as possible. Tight as possible, so we can make sure we have an amazing system that's going to offer years of reliable, dependable, trouble-free service. All we got to do is just do some maintenance every so often. Not too shabby, huh? I wish this thing would just shut up. 146, 82. I don't really know if this is a faster process using 2 hoses, but I have 2 micron gauges and I like to compare, see which one's better. I have the ACiQ tools on the 3/4 inch line, and I have the Appion hose with the Navic micron gauge on the 3/8. I don't really know what's better, but I like the ACiQ tools. I like the Fieldpiece Schrader core removal tool. I had throw one out yesterday because it was leaking. It's annoying. It's only about a year old, but I don't know. This equipment, tools that you use, especially dealing with vacuum process, doesn't really last that long. It just don't. 80. While we're doing this, we're still at 80. Let's talk about what we have here. We have our control board. This handles low voltage, but we're using communication. It uses serial communication, RS485 communication on S1, S2. Now it does say polarity doesn't matter, but it does. So whatever wires you use out here, make sure you use the same connections at the air handler, S1, S2. What's great about this Extreme Plus system is I can use the existing wiring. Listen, shielded 2-wire is recommended, but I've used many times the 2 existing wires from the indoor to the outdoor unit, and it's been a blessing. It's been a good experience. You can buy a spool. I'll buy like 1,000 or 2,500 roll of shielded 2-wire communication wire. ACiQ does sell it to their dealers. You have to ask for it. It's not listed. I do have a spool. Wasn't that expensive, and much cheaper than my local electrical supply house. If you're going to use regular 24 volts, you're going to use this connection here. Okay. Y1, Y2, and B for heat pump. But we always install 2 wires from the air handler to the outdoor unit so they communicate. We're also going to be using communicating the TL04 ACiQ thermostat. So this is going to be a fully communicating heat pump inverter system. And that's how you gain maximum efficiency. Fully communicating. Indoor, outdoor thermostat. They all talk to one another. And if you're an ACiQ dealer, starting in the first quarter of 2027, there's going to be a new dealer portal page where you can monitor your installs. Again, you're going to need permission from the end user, your clients, your homeowners, right? But just for data. So if the system reports a problem, like a dirty filter to a clogged condensate drain, it'll report that in on their thermostat, but also on your dealer portal. It's going to be an awesome feature, an awesome benefit that's really going to bring more value to your installs and to your clients. And no other manufacturer offers that. Awesome. 76 and 122. Let's close and close. Shut up. You're so annoying. Every time I close it off, it does go stop a little bit lower than it did before. We were at 15, we were at 2100, then 15, then 11. The last time I tried it was at 900. Now we're at low 7s. Yeah, we're dropping again. That's awesome. Okay, let's open this back up. It's a good sign to see it peak. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. You're so annoying. Stupid thing. Oh, I hate it. We have a dilemma here, folks. That little connection coming off of the Schrader core removal tool is loose or not tight. So when I unloosen this, why is it not leaking now? Yeah, now it's leaking again. I don't know. This really makes no freaking sense, right? This stupid thing. There you go. Okay, perfect. Daniel for the win. Look at this. The stupid Fieldpiece. Why does this leak if you take this out and this valve's closed? That makes no sense. Stupid Fieldpiece. That's why I keep calling this Fisher Price. This is garbage. Absolute garbage. Fisher Price Fieldpiece junk. All right, we're adding R54B refrigerant to the system, which is very easy to get this year, unlike last year. But we got it last year. Should we turn power on? Okay.
Guy fixed the carrier in Manhasset.
Oh, there's the call for cooling. There goes our inverter. There's our condenser fan motor running. Love it. Absolutely love it. Whisper quiet operation. The initial start's the only noise you're going to hear. We're going to add 3/4 of a pound, which is right around that. Perfect. Stupid Fieldpiece garbage. Piece of you. Sorry guys for the cursing, but yesterday during a commissioning and startup of a 2-zone ductless system, the Fieldpiece straighter core removal tool was acting up. Wasn't jiving, was leaking. So I started using my old Appion to the rescue, right? Problem solved. And now today, this loosens up, and when you loosen this up, like, it leaks out refrigerant. Like, how is that even possible when this is closed? Like, come on. You saw that, right? How is that even possible? If this gets loosened up, this leaks. Watch. Oh, it's gonna leak. Don't worry about it. I'm not. You know what? I'm not gonna waste any time here. Sorry, guys. Piece of garbage. Another reason why I hate it. Look how hard it is to loosen this up from there. Why is this so difficult? Fieldpiece, if you're watching, you guys should just close up shop. Stop manufacturing garbage. My opinion. Your mileage may vary. Okay, normal. Good. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do with this. Let me show you right now what I'm doing with this thing. Watch this. People are gonna get mad at me for doing this, what I'm about to do, but you can't blame me, folks. Garbage piece of Okay. Let's get that one on. Okay. Push in the plunger. Spin it. Okay. I think we're in. Okay. I knew it. I knew that was still gonna leak. I knew it. Let's try that again. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is 11:26 here. System is running for about 20 minutes. Let's check, see how much power this system is actually pulling in amperage. Let's take a peek. 13.2 amps. Look at that. 238 volts. 13.1 amps. Now, folks, this is a 4-ton inverter. 48,000 BTUs. Also does heating as well. Imagine what the energy savings is with high performance, high efficiency equipment like this ACiQ Extreme Plus side discharge inverter system. Fantastic. There's only one thing left to do. There you go, folks. The private label sticker completes the installation. Wow, beautiful. And God forbid we're not servicing this in the future. Scan that QR code. You'll get more information. It was free. I hope it's free. They should pay you. Forget about making it free. I think it's a gigantic thermal imaging camera. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So this is the existing Nest thermostat for the heating hydronic zone, and this is the ACiQ thermostat. We hooked it up to Wi-Fi yet?
No.
Want to get her Wi-Fi network and password so we could get that out of the way for them. Do you hear that? I sure don't. Whisper quiet operation. That's what you get with ACiQ. Always creating innovation and quality. That's ACiQ. And some of you are in the comment section right now bitching and complaining about how I don't know how to use a straighter core removal tool. But let me tell you something. Looking at the reviews for the Fieldpiece on supplyhouse.com, there are 3 one-star reviews. Disappointed in this tool. I will never buy this product again. Fieldpiece. Sit on this and rotate.